Welcome to the podcast with your favorite cash flow guys, Mike and Blaine. Giving you the best advice while having a beer. When you're running a business, there are problems every day. Let Mike and Blaine help you out and guide your way. Cheers to the good times with Mike and Blaine for business, beer, and BS.
Hey, it's episode 189. Oh, you're way late.
I was way
late
behind.
on that. What, you
Way
sleeping?
off.
What's going on over there? So this is Mike and Blaine. I'm Mike Mylan, also known as Cashflow Mike. That is my friend, my partner, Blaine Birch, the CEO and co-founder of Dry Run, the best cash flow forecasting software on the planet. What's up, man?
Oh man, 2 this week, and I'm just I'm excited to dive into this topic. We're talking trademark or trust the universe today, so stay tuned, everybody. We're going to get into some real good trademark chatter, but it's beer, biz, and BS. So let's dive into the beer. What are you drinking today?
Dude, you ever had just a shit week? I know we're doing this twice, right? Like we're doing it twice, and I don't know what it was. I mean, like I've been off on all kinds of little things this week. I just off, like going, I don't know why or whatever. So I'm in there. I'm like, oh shit, I need some beer. First of all, I've never been to UPS, FedEx, and the U.S. Postal Service offices in the same day before. I've never done that.
That sounds not fun at all.
Yeah, so that's just kind of how it started off. Like going, shit, I got this little box of swag. I got to get out to somebody because they want to go give it out at a little event they're going to. So I put together a little nice little box for them and send it out. That was UPS, and I go to UPS because there's one like right down the street. It's usually pretty reasonable, sometimes even cheaper than the Postal Service. So I just go down there. I'm like going, oh, but I bought this test kit for my pool water. Right. So I go outside and I take a dip of pool water, put it in the container, and they give me a prepaid label that's only for the U.S. Postal Service. So I go, oh, well, they got a box. They got a collection box right outside the UPS. Dude, I'm in. So I go there. Yeah. They make the openings for these things only for letters now. You can't put shit in there. Like I had just a little vial. It's like barely thicker than a letter. Could not get it in. I'm like going, damn, I got to drive. And the post office is a long way away. So I'm like going, oh, well, I'm over there. I have some printing I need to pick up at FedEx. So I went to all three of those places in the same hour and a half. Yeah. Then check this out. I'm going to stop in and grab some beer for the podcast because the only thing you've seen me drink lately is a old ass Christmas beer from Pat. Right? So old Christmas beer from Pat. So I'm like, I'm just going to drop in and get some. So I'm looking at the beers. I'm like, oh, here's some right here I didn't even see. I'm in the section for craft beers. I reach in, I grab a 4-pack. I'm like, perfect. Just a 4-pack of this beer. I've never seen it before. I'm just going to grab it. I get it home right before this. I'm like, the hell did I buy? That's not beer. So I bought this thing called 2 Bootleggers Kentucky Mule. So it's bourbon, lime, and ginger beer. I just saw the beer. So I'm like 2 degrees off of everything today. So I'm going to have 2 Bootleggers.
Let me tell you about the beer I got. So I went up to my fridge and I was looking for what would be great for this topic, trademark or trust the universe. And I was looking at my fridge and then I just kind of went, I just kind of want to drink that beer. So I didn't pick, it has nothing to do with the topic. I just felt like drinking this beer. I think I've had it on the show before.
It is.
It is Omen Brewing, Spilt Milk. Yeah. And it's just a milk stout. I just really like it. And I looked at it and just went, I just want that beer today. So that's what I grabbed. And if you're in Edmonton, go check out Omen Brewing. They've got really nice beer, especially their dark beers. They got really fun Oktoberfest. They got, the taco trucks there quite often. Definitely go check them out. They're awesome.
That is perfect because you trusted the universe. You just reached in and said, I'm going to drink this one.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
I didn't even pay attention to their trademark. I just went, trust the universe and grab that beer. So there we go. Yeah. Subconsciously, I was right in line with the topic.
All right, well, speaking of like beer sponsors and all that, I think Devin's still one of our beer sponsors. He's one of the biggest LSU fans on the planet and Courtney just got back from LSU. She just spent 2 days there. And it just is one of the things that she likes the best. It's a 50,000 square foot store, right?
Wow.
2-story. It's got an airplane. It's got like it's a model type airplane, but an airplane hanging from the ceiling. This store for a college bookstore is probably one of the best in the nation.
Wow. That's
right?
enormous.
You won't see. I mean, it right? Yeah. I mean, you got to just see the books that they just have upstairs. They got an Apple store in the store. They have an Apple store.
Nice.
It's craziness. And a cafe. In a cafe, like a Starbucks. So it's craziness. But Devin, we appreciate you. Thanks for sponsoring the show.
And of course, Rachel Barnett from Gentle Frog. If you have a small business, you need to know how to use QuickBooks. You need to go check out Rachel's YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/gentlefrog. She's got a ton of videos to show exactly how you use QuickBooks the absolute best way possible. Or just go to her website, gentlefrog.com. So thanks again, Rachel.
Hey, along the same lines, up in Michigan is Karen Hairston. She runs 3S Smart Consulting. And I tell you what, if you need to find hidden cash, if you're struggling, if your business feels a little clunky, like, I'm always waiting for money to come in, talk to Karen over at 3S Smart Consulting. She'll get you squared away.
And finally, neighbor Pat, who didn't bring you any weird Christmas beer this week, but Pat brings you so much beer that he's like a lifetime sponsor. Like,
I'm going to tell you what, Pat is working his ass off right now, because remember he had like 6-7 pallets of grass. That was Tuesday. Yeah. He still has 3 pallets of grass today on Thursday. So look, holy shit. I tell you what, I did that a couple years ago. I brought in, I don't know, we're going to say 10 pallets. It about killed me. It just about, I'm like, it is one of the hardest jobs that you can do is lay sod. Right? It's just
pull up a lawn chair, grab a beer, and just sit and watch Pat lay sod for a couple hours.
I'm telling you what, he's working out there. He's definitely working. Good thing he's had, it's been in the 80s. It's been a little overcast, so he's not getting, no, that's not how I do it. I do it as beating ass down sun. Sweat's rolling off me. I can only put down like 10 pieces. I have to stop for a beer.
That's the way it should be done, man. And well, if you guys are watching us for the first time, you're probably wondering what's going on. But we are going to get into a really cool business topic. There's always some BS, definitely beer mixed in with this. But make sure you like, subscribe, follow. It really does help if you just like the show. Subscribe. YouTube algorithm really loves it when you do that. So please do so. And you can also go to MikeandBlaine.com. If you want to be a beer sponsor and get mentioned on the show, it is the best value in sponsorship ever. It's $5 an episode. No inflation here. We just started that years ago, and we just love to keep it going. So you can go to MikeandBlaine.com, buy us some beer for a few weeks, buy us for the whole year. We've got some that go through the whole year, and we'll mention you on every show.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that really is. I mean, that of course, I've done a lot of advertising, do it on my own. You get evergreen material for $5. I mean, think about how many times you just blow $5.
Yep.
Easily done. So $5 is all it takes. All right, man, I tell you what, this is a subject that has just chapped my ass for a long time. That and what happened to me yesterday brought it up for today. I'm like, I'm talking about that tomorrow. All right, so here's the thing. I have been using ClearPath to Cash since 2019. Right? Use it. I mean, it's in my book. It's on the back of my book. It's like, that's what I called my stuff. Courtney and I remember the day we came up with the name. I mean, we just came up with a list of, here's all I'm trying to do. She goes, it's a ClearPath to Cash. And she came up with it. So I even had a podcast at one time called the ClearPath to Cash, and invited a guy onto it. And the guy is a competitor. And you and I have talked about this in the past. And I think you know who it is. I won't call it out here, but he developed in the last year and a half, 2 years, a product that's now called Cash is Clear. And that's enough for me to be overlapped. It's enough for me to especially since we sell to the same people, we are true competitors. I'm like, man, there could be some confusion in the market. Where I think I didn't go all the way with my trademark in the beginning was that I had the logo. I'm like, everybody kind of knows I got the logo. I'm just going to trademark the logo. Apparently, that's not enough, right? I mean, if you want true protection, that's not going to be enough. you got to get the words too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right. Yeah. So, but it can't be like when I got Cashflow Mike trademark, I had to have statements in my trademark application that says I'm not trying to retain ownership of cash or flow or cash flow, but it's the combination of cash flow
Yep.
Mike that I'm protecting,
Yep.
right? Well, that's the same thing with clear path to cash. I have to say clear path to cash is what I'm protecting, not clear, not path, not to cash. It's clear path to cash as a group. So, and I didn't do the words. Why? Because it's pretty expensive.
Yes, it is.
Right. When it comes
Yep.
right down to it. I mean, we're still small businesses, and I'm like, that's a lot of money.
Yep.
So I get it in my head yesterday. I'm like going, hell with it. I'm just going to do it. Right. Just so there's that one question out of the way that I can put it in text. I can call people out if they use that clear path to cash in
Yep.
text. So I did it. And the same company, and I'll tell you what, don't do this stuff on your own.
No.
Because there's little stuff that they say, oh, well, is it only these colors, or is it black and white, or is it all colors? You miss a box, you say it wrong, you don't have the right clarifying statement in your application, they're going to kick it back to you, and you're going to have to redo it, or it just kicks it down the curb. So, but I found this company Trademark engine that I've been using, and normally it's pretty inexpensive. We'll say $350, I can get it all done.
Yep.
Right, $350. Well, apparently I checked the wrong box or something. Remember, it's like, meaning yesterday, because this is when I did it yesterday, I took their $350 deal or whatever it was. And then it says, well, what classes do you want this in? Well, if you do one class, it's 350. I didn't really read the fine print. I go, oh, yeah, but I'm using it in courses, and I'm also using it in software, and there's something else. So I said, oh, these 3 classes. Oh, yeah. You're going to get $350 on all those, right? So I get another bill for $1,100. Not a bill. I get an automatic charge,
Yep.
To the debit card that I had in there. I'm like going, the next morning I wake up and I'm going, the fuck did I spend $1,100? Yeah. So you see how all these little things that happen in 2 days, am I going, all right, well, was it worth it? That's where I wanted to go is trademarking worth it? Should you do it? When should you do it? Is it for everybody or not? Right. That's where I wanted to talk about today. Not necessarily what it is and, the big application process. I can talk through that because I've been through it several times now. But, yeah, I wanted to go there. You got any experience in that?
Well, we've obviously trademarked Dry Run. I think we trademarked the name for like what it is, I don't remember all the details because we trademarked it so long ago. It is really expensive though. It's a bit like putting a patent on something. Sometimes it is really necessary and sometimes worth it. And sometimes it's like, well, unless you got a few $1 million to try and defend your patent, it's probably not going to help anyway. It feels a little the same way, but I don't know. I kind of went on the, side on the air of caution, I guess, or, just make sure we've got her covered and do we can. But the other thing we did is it wasn't just a trademark because obviously we own dryrun.com, but we own quite a number of dryrun dot whatevers, not everything. Cause again, you'll blow your money, but we've got some of the big ones and tried to cover as much as we can. So I don't know. No one, I think, unless you're Nike, you're not going to have full coverage of anything, but I think it's worthwhile to have some just solid coverage, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, that's a good strategy, right? That's a low cost strategy where it's like, I'm going to go out there and claim all the social handles right off the bat. And it's getting harder and harder to do, right? To claim that. I mean, if you look at even mine, I'm like going, Cashflow Mike, that should be able to get that everywhere. No, that's where sometimes I'm the Cashflow Mike and sometimes I'm Cashflow Mike.
We're Dry Run app almost everywhere. And what I realized is early on with all of these, almost all of these like accounts, I think people made accounts and called them Dry Run because they were dry running the social media thing and they're not even using it. Anyway, so we just kind of settled on Dry Run app for most of them. And that's a little annoying actually, to be honest, because it's barely being used, I think. So
it's to me, it was the first problem I had was I went to get the Instagram handle and there's already a cash flow Mike. I'm like going,
What?
did I get that? Did I get that already? I'm like, did I forget about it? No, I look it up. No, it's some like teenager that was selling tennis shoes or some shit like that. He just like going, and flashing bills like this. He's cash flow Mike. It's like craziness.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. I'm like, oh, damn, that's pretty good. I was thinking the one name in the world I wouldn't have to mess with is that like the trademark went through like crazy. Like you don't think it's cash flow, do you? It's just cash flow Mike. Yeah. That was the only thing. But I had to do a final action, not a final action, a non-final action, but there's an administrative redo you have to do that you have to pay for.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
No,
to be able to do that.
They make their money out of every little step, and someone's making money, right? It's just how it goes.
But getting the domain and the domains around it, just like at Cashflow Tool, we tried to get cashflow.com back then. We tried to buy that. And it says, oh, it's owned, but it's for sale. So we contacted the guy. He wanted a $995 million, or not million, $1,000, $990, almost $1 million for cashflow.com. So we're like going,
get lost.
No, we'll just buy up everything around it. We bought cashflow.net, cashflow, just buy everything around the guy. So it's making it really less valuable because everything else is going to be redirected to us if you don't say cashflow.com.
Well, and I think actually what's happened over time are those generic, like remember pets.com and all of those ones. Not necessarily pets.com. I don't know what it is now, but I actually think that a lot of the generic ones were massively overvalued because they are too generic. So if you had realestate.com, I don't think anyone's going to realestate.com. They want to know like what's in my area. Like you'd probably be better off edmontonrealestate.com. It's probably a bad example, but I think the really generic ones like that aren't necessarily that effective because they're so generic and they don't have the brand. Like you said, you could get cashflow.com. You can't even trademark that because it's too generic, right? So the guy probably sat on it and could have made some money off you guys, and maybe there's no way he made $995,000 on that one. I guarantee you.
He's probably still sitting on it, waiting for like Bank of America or some bullshit
to buy it, and they'll go like,
yeah.
no, I'm actually just gonna type that in and see if anyone's actually got a site up for that, because I'm just sort of curious. No. It's still a GoDaddy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Guy's never sold it. He bought it. He pays registration fees every year, and he probably could have made a tidy little bit of money off of it. Don't care.
Who knows? We might have paid him 10 grand.
Exactly.
Which is a lot, right? For a domain, which is a lot.
Massively overvalued.
Especially since all we got to do.
And it doesn't have the it is too generic. I don't think anyone would actually type that in, right? Like it's not like it doesn't actually add any value.
But you know what did work? Cashflowtool.com.
Exactly.
Like, okay, well, let's just go there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's just do that.
And like I had to buy dry run, like, because once I went through, like, what it's like. We went through 100 different ideas and worked our way down, and we went, this one's good. Like, because the foundation of dry run is, scenario modeling and modeling things and figuring things out, trying different things. Dry run just worked really well. But it costs a little bit of money, but I can't remember. It was probably $4 or $5 grand, $6 grand. I can't remember exactly, but it wasn't like, it wasn't life-changing money, but it wasn't a few $100 either. I think it was probably $5, $6 grand, something like that.
Yeah. Well, something else that I found out that is cheap, like social domains, you can figure out the domain game, but another cheap strategy is just put the TM under your name or by your name. Did you know that? That TM is not registered. It just means you're using it in commerce. And it stands for trademark, but it doesn't mean it's trademarked. It means you're just using it for business.
Oh, okay.
Which means it sets a line in the sand where you got proof that you've been using it since a specific date, right? So if you go in the future and apply, they're going to ask you, when did you start using this? as a, in commerce.
Oh,
Well, I
okay.
started using it in June 1st, 2025. Because here it is. Here's a screenshot, or here's something I did in 2025 where it was TM. It was, cash flow Mike
Oh,
TM.
I didn't realize that because I guess in my mind thought it was like sort of like pending because I remember we used the TM while we were waiting for the registration and then we got it registered. Now we get the little R, which who cares?
Yeah.
Like it is. It's registered. This is great, but it's yeah. Anyway, that's how it goes.
Now, the TM is kind of an open thing. I mean, most people will use it to show people they have applied for a trademark,
Yeah.
right? Like you're talking about, but that's not what it means. I
Hmm.
mean, let me ask Chelsea, make sure.
Do you really trust Chelsea? We've had a couple of run-ins with the old AI lately that have been, well, like you did too, like where it's dead wrong and insists like it will die before it tells you that it's wrong and it's totally wrong. So,
No, you can use it anytime you want to claim rights to a name.
oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the circle with the R,
That's
the
the
real
real deal,
deal,
yeah.
right? That's the real
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Yeah. But TM's kind of like a scare tactic.
Yeah. No, that's good to know. That's good to know, right? Like, because over the years there's been a number of times we've had sort of a tagline and we're like, gee, I wonder if we should trademark that. And then, like we realized it wasn't actually that great of a tagline or whatever. It's like, I think we didn't spend any money on it, right?
I was on a podcast yesterday, and I use all the time. I tell this story about too much inventory, and you probably heard me tell it here about Elf on the Shelf.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You ever hear me tell that about how nobody wants that guy because he's so mischievous, and it's just it's just a funny thing. Elf on the Shelf. Well, I nicknamed inventory Wealth on the Shelf, and he goes, "Did you trademark that?" I'm like, going, "No, but I should put a TM next to it."
We should put a
Right?
TM next to Bizbeer and BS and we'll make it huge. Just a giant.
Yeah, there you go.
Bigger than the words themselves.
That's right.
TM.
Yeah.
Biz, beer, and BS. Because I don't think Mike and Blaine has to be trademarked. Because like, how many Mike and Blaines are out there that are going to do a Biz, beer, and BS podcast?
That'd be really weird, right? But to me, I think it's really weird anyway. It's like I've got two competitors that both use either something with clear and cash. Well, both of them use clear and cash, right? Well, not cash. One of them used the one clear path.
Oh wow, that's
Right?
really
So
close.
one of them uses. Yeah, I'm like, going, really? I mean, I've been doing this for, all of a sudden these folks pop up over the last 2 or 3 years. I've been doing it since 2019, so 6 years. And I know both of them. I know them both. I'm like going, did you guys get inspired? It's like, Vanilla Ice and his song, like, do, 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 do. No, mine's slightly different.
What do they call it? It's the greatest form of flattery when they copy you. So.
Yeah. That's why I figured. I'm like going, I actually want people to go try their stuff first. Go try their stuff because you're going to know. You're going to know the difference,
original.
Right?
Yeah.
You're going to, you're going to know the difference when you have, what is that? The milk stout, or if you buy Steel Reserve, you're going to know the difference in taste.
How is that?
Oh, I haven't tried it yet. I'm
scared of it.
It tastes, it smells like whiskey and ginger beer.
You're going to say it's going to fizz in your mouth because you still haven't put it in a glass.
Oh, that's really good.
Well, there you go.
It should be in a glass. It's a little limey. It's over limed. It's over limed, right?
And I imagine they dump a little sugar in that thing, so that's how they make it good.
It's pretty sweet too. So hey, but I guess it doesn't matter. You know what I realized? Tuesday, we missed both secret words.
I didn't even catch that. Are you sure
Missed
we did?
Didn't catch. I don't think we did. Well,
we'll see if we can sneak them in without forcing them in. We got a little ways to go today. It's we got a little time to sneak them back in. So,
all right. So here's the folks I think don't need to worry about trademarks. If you're doing something, I'll call it hyper local. Here's Joe's lawn care service or whatever. Don't worry about that trademark. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about spending money on those type of things because chances are there's not going to be a big conflict. If I'm just doing this. If you go nationwide and you start going across, states and country borders and those type of things, then you might, right? The bigger you get, the more likelihood it will be. But like if I'm in San Antonio, I'm going to look for the name of my company. And if there's already a Joe's Lawn Care, I'm not going to call mine Joe's Lawn Care, right? Because I'm thinking you might call the wrong one.
Yeah, might call the wrong one. Exactly. I remember a few years ago in Phoenix, there was and there's still there's a brewery called Fate Brewing. And as they started to grow and they wanted to distribute across state lines. This is as far as I remember the story. There was another Fate Brewing or maybe it was the other Fate Brewing that wanted to distribute into Arizona. I don't recall. And they got into a little trademark dust up. I think smartly, it's like, let's not spend a whole pile of money trying to deal with this. They just changed their name to McFate, which is not quite as cool, but they did, right? I noticed not too long ago that they're back to Fate Brewing, which I thought was, hey, good for them. It's a much cooler name. Unfortunately, I haven't checked, but I suspect the other Fate Brewing probably just didn't make it. And that's how they ended up with but the second they do that, trademark the living shit out of it and make sure you don't get caught again. Right.
Oh yeah. The one that, it probably wouldn't have happened in the US, but it happened in England. Right. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because, oh man, remember I told you I had a shitty week? All right. So I wake up this morning and I got some $238 charge on my business debit card from some LOVHOL-DOM. I'm going,
What
the hell is that? Yeah. I have to call Visa. I can't figure it out. I have to call Visa and go, hey, what is this charge? It hasn't even cleared yet. It's still pending, right? I'm like, what is this charge? Yeah. That's from a company called Love Holidays. They're a travel agency out of London. I'm like going, yeah, you don't know me very well. That's definitely not me. I don't use a travel agency. B, I'm not going to call one in London.
exactly?
Or give so somehow my business debit card,
Wow.
which I only use for like subscriptions, right? Subscriptions and stuff
interesting.
like
that. Draw a line
so
through
somebody must have had so I disputed it. Here's what happens when you dispute a credit card charge, then they lock it. And guess what? It's the first of the month. Guess where most of my subscriptions and stuff hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, first of the month. So now I'm getting like going, payment return.
I didn't know they would lock it. Like I disputed a charge on
instantly.
Really? Because I disputed a charge on a credit card not too long ago, and
No, I think is the way I answer. I think it's the way I answered about and didn't know who that was, don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Do I think it was fraud? I'm like going, I don't know who else could. They said, well, could it be somebody else in your company? I'm like going, like the other me?
I was drinking a lot last night. Thought I'm going on a holiday to London.
Yeah. Courtney's like going, are you taking me to England? I'm like going, no, maybe someday.
Now you even got burned on that too.
Yeah. So that's just one thing after another. I'm just getting slapped around by this stuff.
She had that
right?
little glimmer of hope.
Yeah. I wish it would have been that cool. Then that would have been really, terrible of me to, to dispute it. But yeah, so everything like that is happening. And I don't know why. That's a really weird one, though. I mean, I only use it for subscription. She goes, when have you last used it physically? Dude, I got online. I'm like going, I don't know that I have. Right. And I mean, November, maybe when I went to some conference or whatever. But I'm not anywhere where I'm going to use it physically.
I didn't know you could actually use a debit card for subscriptions. I thought that was just, I've never even looked, but I thought it was just credit card.
Oh, is it?
I don't
know. I use it.
I didn't know. I obviously can. I didn't know. I'm
Yeah.
like,
It is this one right here, and it says business debit right on it, and I use it for
oh,
subscription.
interesting. Oh, I just didn't realize you could. I always use my credit card for all of that because I like getting the points. So I'm like, I want points for everything. Like, pay me.
Yeah, I think this is just for that type of stuff. I'd rather if I have the cash in the account, it's just paid and done. I don't know, preference, I
Yeah, no,
guess.
whatever works out.
I haven't thought about getting the points. I haven't thought about getting the points. I just use it for the subscription. It's just easy,
Yeah.
and it connects right up to the accounting. And everything just kind of flows.
Yeah, yeah.
Until you have to change
Until
the
you have
number.
to change the number, which
Here's
I've
the
done
other
on
thing.
the credit card
Yeah.
before, for sure. Yeah.
And now I'm traveling Sunday to Utah and don't have a credit card
Oh, that sucks.
or
Debit card.
right? Because I use the debit card for that type
Yeah.
of stuff. Well, so I got one coming, but it won't be here in time. So I've got to cover it with. I got another business thing that I've got that I just never use.
Yeah, yeah.
So got to use that.
Take your points and be happy, man.
Huh.
That's what I figured. You
Yeah.
get your points, and you can make a lot of cash off of that for business expenses. So
Hey, I did get a package in the mail today. Something great though.
All right.
Right. So I got a package.
Your week
in the
is
mail.
turning.
It's sitting. It was. Yeah. It was right before this, as a matter of fact, and it was right. It's a 30-pack of Magic Mind. I've got the the
Nice.
sleep, I got the focus, the calm.
Yep.
So I got another 30-pack came in today right before this episode. So I'm excited because we were out. Right? We were out. So I don't even have a great story to tell you except for don't run out because you're gonna have people in your house and me going, man, I could use one of those today because of I need focus. I need to.
Yep.
I'm missing details. I'm buying, this stuff instead of beer. I'm making so many. I'm making so. I'm making so many little mistakes that I need to be able to get to focus. And the way you focus is you grab a Magic Mind out of the refrigerator. It tastes good, like one of those little hugs that you got when you were kids. Talking about the little plastic barrels. They're pinks and purples and those type of things. You pull the top off. You take it like a shot. And boom, you are good to go. It kicks in. I won't say instantly, but fast enough that you'll go, oh, it's working. So Magic Mind came today, and thank you very much for sending it to my door as fast as you did.
Awesome. And because you guys listen to this show, you can get a discount. Take advantage of this limited time offer. You can get 34% off your subscription at magicmind.com/MikeandBlaineAPR and use the code Mike and Blaine APR for April. All caps, and you're good to go. And just check down the show notes. It's going to be right there. You can get yourself a nice discount. Give it a try.
There you go. Hey, well worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Well worth it. And I almost got a standing ovation. Like, oh my God, it's here. Right there. Like,
nice.
She didn't stand up and clap. But I mean, in my mind, I'm like going, oh, I think she's going to clap. Oh, she didn't.
That's because she was pre-Magic Mind. If she'd had it and she's like, got that energy.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. All right. So I also went through the patent process recently, right? So I mean, it's being filed, I think, this week or next week. That's another thing that I learned a ton this time on that I didn't learn as much the last time. I don't know how I missed it the last time, but I didn't realize that, all right, difference between like a design patent and a utility patent. I guess. So one is the way things kind of look, and the other is how it's used. And you got to kind of declare that up front or get both of them, which is
double the money. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. Like, well, I like the way it looks and the way it works. I mean, they kind of do that together. Yeah, you can't do that. So, which is in a lot of times where, people think, oh, I built this chart and this the way it looks on the website is proprietary to me, and this is the way I present information. Yeah, that really can't be trademarked. It's really weird, right? It's one of those things, unless it's just a design, right? That can be, and it has to be unique enough to be able to do that. So in most cases in software, you get a utility patent, which is how it's used, and not, again, the way it's displayed, but what happens in the background. How are you actually collecting data, parsing data, organizing, sorting, using it? I mean, integrating AI through the system in my case. It's the structural that you're doing, not necessarily what people can see. It's what's behind the scenes that you're getting a patent on. All right. So, and it makes sense, especially because, I mean, a lot of us, you might use current ratio. I might use current ratio. We can't
Yeah,
patent that.
exactly.
Right. And it's just, but the way I get there might be patentable. It would just like Q Vinci you remember them?
No.
I think they're still around. All right, so Q Vinci, and they protected their patent for quite a while. I don't know if they still got the patent is still active, but at least when we're in Cashflow Tool, they had a patent on the way that they took financial data out of QuickBooks and combined it. They could combine different files into combined financial statements. So if I had 5 companies, they had the patent on being able to take QuickBook files and do it, right? Combine it. And like you said, it takes a lot of money to defend that. But I knew several companies where they tried to defend it. I don't know how successful they were, but they sent cease and desist letters. And if you ever gotten one of those, that's probably the cheapest way to try to stop it.
Yeah.
Because you just pay for an hour or whatever the attorney's time to send the letter out rather than go through the whole process in the courts. Right. So, but there was a point in time, and I'm going to say it's probably 6, 7, 8 years ago now, that they were sending out cease and desist letters for anybody that tried to actually take QuickBooks files and create combined financial statements out of them.
Yeah, that's a little sketchy. Like,
hey, they had a patent on it that they could defend, but the thing was, it's like going, really? You have a patent on
it kind of
math?
seems like
But it
someone
must have been the
passed
way
that
that they
doesn't
did that.
really
Yeah.
understand how that works. It's like that's only half a step
Yeah.
away from trying to patent a financial statement. Like, I think a balance sheet's been around a while. I don't know. It seems a little sketchy to me.
Yeah, but the thing is that it causes you think about this. Remember, I mean, some of this, like the cease and desist letter, is just enough to get you to go, oh, did I do something wrong? Remember this? All right. So I had a non-compete, right? When we first started the show, I had a non-compete and got a cease and desist letter to have a show with you because you worked a dry run.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember that.
And we had to, I'm like, going, what? I'm going, well, that's one of our competitors. I'm like, going, this show doesn't compete with so we ignored it, right? We just like, it's bullshit. Yeah. So remember, some cease and desist letters are just there to cause you to think, right? Not necessarily stop you, but stop and go, oh, did I screw this up? And some people will back down if they violate it. If you truly are, it's your first warning that, hey, this is coming. But in our case, I'm like going, what? This podcast has nothing to do with software. With selling software. So we're just like,
that's a huge leap
out.
It's a huge leap that,
Now it was harassment.
It was
straight up harassment is what it was.
The only good thing is that you completely ignored it and someone paid for that.
Yeah, that's BS.
Get lost. Piss off. That's easy stuff.
Hey, I mean, he should just stick to his knitting and just go sell software. Stop messing with me in the way, the way that I'm, running a podcast.
There you go. Slip that one in. Good stuff.
Didn't force it. Didn't force it. Like,
it snuck in there. It was good.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good one. So, yeah. So that's what I was going to tell you. So you got to remember. I mean, you said it best, and it's interesting for you because you're a Canadian company versus you do business in the U.S. And those type of things, and it could cost you hundreds of thousands or whatever just to get the patent and then defend it, even millions to do that. Especially when you go cross border, you don't know the rules, don't know the laws. Well, that reminds me, of a story that was like a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And the reason why it stood out is because it was Tesla, right? Where Tesla defended their name. And I don't think they could have done it in the US, but they defended it in the UK, right? In England. right? And because there was somebody that had a similar, logo, name, all those type of things, but they were selling pizzas. It was a pizza joint, Tesla Pizza and something or another. I can't remember what it was.
Naturally. Makes
Tesla
perfect
Pizza,
sense.
whatever. Yeah, I mean, why you would do that? I have no idea. I mean, it's electric. The pizza is like mellow mushroom, or what's that called? Mellow mushroom.
Mellow mushroom, yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that a pizza joint? Yeah.
I didn't know that was
I don't know.
a chain. I didn't realize that till just now when you said it. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't either, because the first one I saw was in Charlotte. I'm like, oh man, you got this kind of cool place, and then all of a sudden there's one here in in San Antonio.
I've been to one in Phoenix, and I just thought I didn't realize it was a chain. It's been years ago since I was there, and they had a nice beer menu, and their pizza was fine as far as I remember. But whatever. But I didn't realize it was a chain till just now. It's like, oh, nah. I will say that like they're like I haven't been there in years, so obviously I wasn't amazingly thrilled, but it still went like, it's just like chains don't do it for me. I like supporting a small business all the time, right? So
I didn't realize it was a chain either, right? But it was like 2 blocks from the hotel I was staying at in Charlotte. I'm like, oh, they got beer and pizza. So I stopped in. I'm like, hey, found this cool place, and then and then 3 or 4 years later, I'm like going, oh, that's a chain. Here's one. I didn't know, right? Because it doesn't present like
it doesn't
a chain
at all.
I don't know what it is. There's some feel about it. It doesn't present.
They
like
do
a
a nice job of that. It doesn't feel like a chain. And it could be that it's very few locations. So maybe it isn't like it's hard to call it a chain if it's like 3, 4, 5 locations. I don't know where my breaking point is for chain, but it yeah, I don't know what just did. I'm shocked. And as soon as you said it, like, how do you do it with the mellow mushroom? We never went there when you were in Arizona, but it's that realization. I can hear the typing.
All right, let's
Checking
see.
it out.
Yeah. Chelsea's going to figure. Chelsea can figure this stuff out a lot of times. I know we've referred to Chelsea twice during this episode. If you guys don't know, we're talking about Chat GPT.
Yeah.
We used to call it Chad when it was 3.5.
Yeah, and then we renamed it when she got to 4 point something. We named her Chelsea. We should probably just call her Chatty. It'd probably be easier to people know what you're talking about then.
Dude, there's 181 locations across the U.S.
Okay, I did not guess that.
There are 43 in Georgia alone.
Holy cow! I would never have guessed that. They do something right because it doesn't feel like a chain, but that is, I'm amazed by that. I'm shocked, absolutely shocked.
Dude, you ought to see the map. It's maybe one of the reasons why we thought that. I think they got like 1 dot in Arizona, 1 dot in Denver, a few dots in Texas. All the dots are in the southeast.
Okay, that's probably why. That's
yeah.
But you're right. It doesn't feel like
a
chain to me. Or as far as I recall, it didn't feel like it, right?
I mean, probably if you were in Georgia or Florida, it looks like they're pretty heavy. You'd go, oh, like, everywhere I go, there's a mellow mushroom or a mushroom, whatever it is. Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, but one in
we only went once, so.
And I've spent most of my life. Yeah, I've spent most of my life west of the Mississippi, and there's 5 or 10 of them.
So that probably is a rarity there, and it's not like we rushed back, so I think it was fine. But and not to, but there's better pizza in Arizona and Edmonton, of course, as well. So, quality.
Hey, you know what's funny? This is the first time that Chat GPT has thrown up pictures in the answer.
Oh, interesting.
I've never seen that. Yeah, I got 3 maps that are location maps, and then I got a picture of an inside of one.
Interesting. That is new.
Is that crazy? I've never seen that
either. Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting.
That keeps getting better. It can be wrong, but it can be better.
We might have to make our own custom GPT just for Mike and Blaine. I don't know what it'll do, but we can train it.
Who knows? Oh, we could definitely train it. Yeah, we can definitely train it. So, I mean, all right. So, I was talking about the patent. No, I was telling you what happened. Oh no, I told you about Tesla already. Tesla and how Tesla defended its name against the pizza company.
Okay.
And the pizza company had to pay Tesla for violating the trademark in the UK.
Sounds like
Now,
bullshit to me. It's a pizza company.
I yeah, well, in the US it wouldn't have worked because it's two different really
Yeah,
classes.
completely
Like
different.
Tesla cars are not going to be confused with Tesla
Yeah,
pizza,
not at all. Like there's no. Yeah.
right? It and you got to remember that that's the biggest thing is will the consumer be confused thinking that I'm calling you and really I'm calling somebody else?
Yeah.
Right? So that's the big thing. But nobody's calling, I mean, unless it's 420, April 20th,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless it's that, I'm not calling the pizza joint and getting Tesla cars or vice
Yeah.
versa.
Exactly. Exactly. But you know what's interesting is like here's one that I found really interesting was the Utah Yeti. Like so, Utah Hockey Club tried to brand themselves as the Utah Yeti, which is an amazing name for an NHL team. But they got blocked in the trademark, and they got blocked in the trademark with Yeti that makes mugs and
The
cups and everything. Which sounds really
Yeah, it's a
weird,
Texas
except
company.
that you could see a hockey club does branded merchandise. And if they do branded merchandise and they have mugs and cups and cooler, like you could see there actually could be some weird crossover, even though it's not the main thing, but there was enough of a crossover that they actually lost that fight. And as far as I know, they're going with Utah Mammoth, which is okay, but Utah Yeti was awesome. Like it's too bad. That would have been cool jersey and everything.
Yeah, well, but I think Yeti also has not just the name, there's the actual Bigfoot image that's associated with it, right? So I mean, it's one of those things like on, hey, what are you going to show?
Yeah,
You're not just going to show the word, right? What are you going to show? If it's the Bigfoot, now all of a sudden it's Yeti Bigfoot, you know, maybe it is, right? Maybe there's some
too
confusion there.
much there. Yeah, so
Are you sponsored?
yeah,
Yeah. Are you sponsored by Yeti? Because that's actually probably the closest connection. Not that Yeti that makes cups plays hockey, but they do sponsor sporting events,
yeah. They do sponsor
right?
and the hockey club, of course, makes a ton of merchandise to you know advertise their brand. So interesting. I thought that was it was too bad for the hockey club because that was kind of a cool name, but I don't know, not complaining too much because they took Phoenix Hockey Club, so we're, still waiting to see if we're gonna bring one back there.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's an NHL team in Utah from Phoenix.
Well, no, it
Oh, I
was,
didn't know
yeah,
that.
the Phoenix Coyotes moved to Utah and and they haven't branded them fully yet because it happened so quick. So now they've just this year.
Dude, I didn't. Did I tell you I was on the wait list? And I actually got the call to buy the tickets like 2 years after the fact, but for the Kraken.
Oh, really?
When I lived in
Oh,
Seattle, yeah, I was gonna have season tickets for the Kraken
yep.
up there, and and it wasn't when I got on the wait list, it wasn't the Kraken, it was
Seattle's
Seattle's
Hockey Club.
NHL
Yeah,
team.
yeah,
But, yeah, it's so crazy. I mean, naming things is so hard. I mean, even if you don't intend a trademark, just naming it.
yeah,
I mean, when you come up with something, putting a name on it because, uh I mean, let's just look. I mean, my 3 books, your books, right? You named a book "Pandemic Cash Flow"
had to
and
change
had
it.
to change
Yeah,
the name,
yeah.
right? So people didn't get it confused with
The pandemic. Yep.
the pandemic.
Yep.
You know, I got like, don't be a dumb business owner or don't tell me what to do. That's hard to come up with that stuff, right? So I'm calling it dumb and tell, right? Right? You got my dumb book, you got my, you got my tell
Yep.
book, but it's so hard to come up with a name that people can instantly connect to what it
Yep.
is. Because every time you try to get, I mean, unless you got a ton of money, you can't be a Google or any of these made up words unless you have the money to brand it and market it and educate the public what
Yeah.
it is.
Google's not a made up word though, is it? It's based on Googly, I think, which is like an enormous number. I can't remember which. like Jillian.
Oh, yeah,
I think it's a huge number.
probably.
But I think it might have been
but
googly
to-
or a googly or something. Yeah, so maybe it is a made up word actually. Yeah.
for smart people, it's probably, Google's probably a regular word.
I use it every day.
For the rest of us, yeah. For the rest of us, Google is a made up word, right?
The best website I still remember from a few years ago was can I Google that for you.com. It's like a field that goes to Google.
Let's see. Yeah. I don't know. I'm using the heck out of it. It's a play on the word Google, Googol. It's a mathematical term for 1 followed by 100 zeros.
Okay, so yeah, I knew it was a number. I couldn't remember. I thought it was googly or so. I knew it was something, but obviously I was completely wrong. I'm not a mathematician at all, obviously, but I knew it was based on something like that.
So, all right. So he tried to get the domain Google, Googol, and misspelled it, and it was available. He misspelled the word.
You got to be lucky sometimes, man. You got to be lucky. Like you do want you.
Oh, that shit is funny.
You do want something.
It's a misspelling.
Yeah, I wonder if we could get fiddlehopper.com. Man, we should be trying for that one.
Dude, you better get it now that you put it on the air.
Everyone's going to want it.
To get it. So that's
I don't know why, but everyone's going to want it.
Can you believe a misspelling led to that?
Yeah, and an unintentional one because everything. Okay, every commercial for every drug company under the sun is the weirdest word and the weirdest spelling because all they want is the .com, and it's so bizarre. I'm like, oh my god, just can you give it up? Like they just have the worst names.
I've seen thousands and thousands of drug commercials, and I can't tell you what one of them does.
There's been ones that I've watched over and over, like because they keep showing up. And they never actually tell you what it's for. It's like, ask your doctor. I'm like, why the hell would I ask your doctor? Because I don't know what it's even for. Like, how could you ask your doctor when you never mention, like, is it hair growth? Like, if you're saying like, yeah, it grows your hair back. Well, maybe I would take a look at it, but probably not. But it doesn't, they don't say it. It's amazing how many. Some of them do, but so many of them is just like, it's like people walking by the sunset. And then they tell you all the bad things that can happen with the drug that are always worse than the affliction itself. I'm guessing, and you don't even know what they are. Bizarre.
And probably because I don't have an affliction, so I don't pay attention to what they are. But I know the names are weird. But I can't tell you what it's for. I can't tell you what one of the drugs. I can't even tell you really what Ritalin or any of these. I can't tell you what those are for either. Right? Because I don't pay attention to
and what drives me nuts is these drug companies, these big pharma companies go to some big giant firm and you can see like there's probably a giant boardroom table, 30 people around it, and they spend millions of dollars, and they're like, what did you come up with? And it's like quadruplemeyer.com. And they just like, oh, here's your check. And it's just the worst.
That's going to run. That's going to run.
You can't even spell them. They don't make sense. They don't even look like a word. It's just random letters put together. Someone got paid for that.
Yeah, it's good. 189. I don't know what we even talked. We were so around. Maybe it's 2 in a week. I don't know. We were everywhere on this episode. It wasn't tight. Sometimes we're tight. If you're new and you're like going, what the hell did I just do or watch? Sometimes we're tight. Sometimes we're not. What you learned is that I had a bad week and it's spilling into.
Mike had a bad week and we both drank beer. Oh, no. I drank beer and Mike drank like some weird ass something, booze with sugar in it called bootlegger.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It's like what's that thing called? The Moscow mule, but it's a Kentucky mule.
You know, that picture looks superposed too. Something about it just is like, no, it just doesn't look great.
I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking about. Hey, I appreciate it. Twice this week, right? Twice this week. So we never get to do that, except for when we travel and we do those type of things. But I tell you what, you got the opportunity to like, subscribe, go to YouTube. I mean, check out. I mean, our shorts are killing it. I don't know if you've seen it. I start putting shorts on my YouTube channel, killing it. Over thousands of views now, stuff like that. We were the type of folks that not too long ago, we get 8 views. Then we went to 11. We're like we're killing it, right? Now it's starting to take off. And, if you listen to some of the big podcast hosts, they're saying, hey, sometimes it takes 5, 10 years to be a success. And we're here showing it. We're here showing it that we're willing to put in the work. And I think we provide pretty good quality content every week.
And we have beer sponsors. So go to MikeandBlaine.com and you can sponsor us. $5 an episode. We will mention you on the show. Make sure you, like Mike said, like, subscribe, follow. You can even buy merch. MikeandBlaine.com. You can get a t-shirt with big 2 skulls right on your shirt there. Go and be the next one to sponsor us. Really appreciate y'all.
Check out their website at MikeandBlaine.com. Then subscribe to the podcast and buy these guys a beer.